So it's currently the evening time on Miracle Mountain, and me, Furrnando and Bee are hiking up the mountain because we are gonna start a massive project and we're gonna tell you all about it. So follow me. It's a lovely evening. It's actually really nice temperature at the moment and I just can't wait to get stuck in. So this right here is the project, and it's an absolutely massive project. As you can see how steep that was. This is actually a massive concrete bowl holding pond slash dam, which is all linked to the system of ponds and lakes on our property. The spring starts here and then flows down the valley all the way into the first holding pond, which then flows a little bit further into the concrete bowl, which then flows a lot further down the valley and into the lake next to our house. So to say this project is going to be simple is an absolute understatement. When me and Bee first viewed this property, this area looked like it was a skate park. This is a full concrete bowl that is designed to slow the water down the mountain, and it's a really intricate part of the lake system. And as many of you guys already know, we had a massive forest fire come through here last year, and a couple of weeks after the fire, flash flooding came, and what that did is it filled in the pond that's further up, but also this pond as well. I've actually dug down to find out where the floor is. So the ground level here is just there, and that's a solid concrete floor, but we're looking about 2 to 2.5 feet of silt that needs moving. So this is usually a big concrete bowl where the water gets held in a pool just on that plateau over there, and then feeds into this and down into the lake. It's a really nice system, but unfortunately with the flooding there's been a raging torrent that's just brought all of this sand and silt and mud and stone and branches, and you can see there it's broken through the concrete. So there's a lot of work to be done here. There's no pool left here. I can literally walk on top of what was a big pool of water, huge in fact. So again, some way or another, I'm gonna have to try and get a digger up here to dig this all out and re-establish the pool. So the renovation of the pond since we had the fire and the flooding filled it in with silt was a big task. We hired in a guy with a JCB that took 3 days of pure digging. We needed a machine this big just to move the amount of silt and dirt that had flooded the pond. The reason we did this project first is because it was one of the first ponds that feeds all of the other infrastructure on the property, and water is so important when you live on a big property like this. It was really cool to see how quickly things were changing, and although we did dam up the spring, the flow is constant and is strong, so the water did find its way into the area while we were working on the pond and started to fill up with this beautiful clear spring water, and you could really start to see how amazing it was going to be once again. The goal for all of the projects on Miracle Mountain is to improve on what they once were. So if we have to fix something, we make sure that we make it better than it once was. What you can see here is us strengthening all of the banks and bringing in big stones to strengthen the dam wall to make it stronger, so if there is another flood, we'll be prepared even more. So it's not just the digging out we need to do. There's a lot of repair work that also needs doing. As you can see here, This is the dam wall area where the water flows over at about this height, but all of the concrete has washed away. The force of the flood was so bad, it's done a lot of damage, and you can see there's also cracks and things that need repairing with this concrete. There's no alternative. This isn't going to fix itself. So we just have to crack on, and it's the hottest, driest part of the Portuguese summer, which is perfect. A lot of the projects that we do on this property, they're seasonal. This is the best time, because it's the driest time, to work in a pond environment, because the water flow from our spring has slowed a little bit, which means I've managed to rig up a pipe that diverts this area and sends the water directly to the lake so that we can do the maintenance necessary. Bee's laughing at me. Maintenance? Maintenance. So 7 AM tomorrow morning, I expect you to turn up to work and start digging for us, all right, Ginjey? You got to earn your keep. There's absolutely no doubt that Furrnando will be on time. He's always raring to go, aren't you? He loves a good project. So the sun has just risen, 7 AM, and I'm just loading up the UTV because we are heading up the mountain, ready to break ground. I'm so excited about this project.
We've got some friends coming to help out. They've got about an hour and a half drive to get here, so we're just waiting for them, and it's so cool this morning. It's absolutely glorious. So me and G are walking because there wasn't enough room in the UTV, which is fine, but I've been talking and walking uphill, and now I sound like I'm dying, because I am. But we're nearly there now, just over that hill. Have you, yes, I'm talking to you, been wanting to create a website for a long time now, but the thought of all the technical details involved in building and running it have just completely overwhelmed you? Well, fortunately for you, there's a platform that makes it super easy for anyone wanting to create a beautiful, professional looking website without the need for any coding skills whatsoever. Squarespace has revolutionized the way businesses and individuals create beautiful and professional looking websites without worrying about technical details. With an easy to use drag and drop editor, built-in analytics and customizable templates, it's the perfect platform to help you bring your website vision to life. What's more, it also allows you to host a shop, podcast or blog, create your own logo and choose your domain directly from the platform. It's definitely worth checking out if you're looking for a reliable website builder, so click the link in our description to get a 2-week free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain by using code indieprojects. Theo's had to stop because he was getting absolutely mullered by, I guess they're termites, I'm not sure. The termites were dropping off the tree as I was cutting it down my top. Oh, no. And now I'm just running around all itchy. Let me try and pull it off. It's literally dug into my skin. So Theo and poor Andreas actually both got annihilated by the ants. Had to be done though, they need to go, and it's all been cut down now. And I'm actually going to introduce you to our helpers today because I've not formally introduced them yet. Andreas and G wasn't expecting to be battling termite infested wood today, was you? I told them it would just be easy, a little bit of digging, it's going to be straightforward. And here we are, I'm cutting the trees. And obviously with all the wood chippings,
The ants are flying at my body. That is why I found so many down my top. And this is Andreas from Portugal it is. He's going to be very helpful today. Thanks for the help.
Thanks, guys.
He said earlier, thanks for the ants. He was not expecting it to be ant infested. And this is G, super strong, pulling the biggest branch. And yeah, it's so helpful having these guys today. We are gonna get a lot done. Also B as well, is down there wrangling logs.
Good morning, sun's rising, gonna let the light in. I breathe in this feeling, don't need to fight it. Down on my street, follow my feet, feel the sun on my skin. Bells ringing, birds singing, hello, good morning.
I've been pulling out a lot of the weeds to make it easier to dig, and the others have been digging holes to find where the concrete goes, and we've discovered that, does it go to this one here, G?
Yes, it is.
So the concrete goes there,
But not there.
but not there. So
Somewhere there.
it's a bit exploratory, and right now Theo and Andreas are just kind of digging at the sides, but it's already looking massively different. It's quite good to see a lot of it being cleared out, and the weeds pull out super easily. And this stuff is just like really soft, silty, sandy stuff. So the concrete siding here, I guess because it's just so old, it sounds a bit hollow behind, and also there is soil here, so
Not good,
it's not good, but also
can be fixed.
it can be fixed. There are options. I think the most important thing is to just clear it out and then see what we need to actually work with. But they're at the concrete there, and it goes all the way around. So definitely where I'm standing, there will be concrete underneath, and it is about 6,000 meters.
It's like the biggest swimming pool you've ever seen in your life. When it's
Not
finished,
true, I've seen an Olympic one.
True. I'd say it's on par with an Olympic-sized swimming pool. But it's going to be good once it's done. Just dig away. Just keep digging away.
Making up plans, taking that chance, turn it into something. Sing my song, gonna take on whatever's coming. It's a long road till tomorrow, I'm taking it all in. It's a new day, going my way. Hello, good morning.
We have Guffy, an absolutely adorable dog.
And if you're wondering why Ginjey Bear and Furrnando are not with us helping out as well, it's because Guffy, last time he met Ginjey, they had a little bit of a scrap. It was hilarious,
Because of Ginjey, not because of
because of
Guffy.
Ginjey just went for him. It's just absolutely crazy, but yeah, best to keep them away for now until they're friends. Yeah, look at that.
We've made amazing progress. I am absolutely bushed. It's midday now, so it's getting quite warm. Lots of digging. I feel like I've got lots of soil in my throat. Ready for a drink.
Forget your foregone conclusions. Settle in, settle now. Give up your sweet illusions, 'cause your walls are falling down.
So yesterday was a massive win. The exploratory digging paid off massively, and we can now see the concrete bowl and the structure of how it was made and how it works, which is very exciting for the bigger project. It is a beautiful morning once again, and as I walk down this really thin pathway on the way to the concrete bowl, you'll be able to see the excavator in the distance, and it is now inside the bowl, ready to work. I came up here yesterday evening and just dug my heart out for a good couple of hours, finishing off the bank basically that I needed to build to be able to slide the excavator into this really deep bowl. I also used some plywood just to spread the weight of the excavator so it didn't sink on all of the fresh gravel and the fresh earth, because there's not actually that much earth in the bowl. Most of it is silt, which is essentially just crushed granite. And this is what I'm talking about. This is a lot of what we're digging out. Here you can see it's so fine, and this stuff does not pack together too well, but this is almost like what you buy from the building yard. Mix this with cement, you got yourself a nice mix there. I'll probably end up using a lot of this for some of the projects further up, so I don't have to haul sand all the way to the top of the mountain. I've already got it right here. And I'm trying to explain this whole project to you guys the best I possibly can, but you can see the excavator behind me, and I'm just going to walk towards where the water will come from, and you can see how far it actually is and how much digging and material I've actually got to move. And because I can't actually move the material up these banks because they're so high, I'm going to have to essentially do something a little bit clever. And if you guys know already, this whole property was a massive structural engineering job. It would have had a big team of people, architects, structural engineers, to make sure everything flowed and worked in perfect order. Now it's my job to kind of understand everything and bring it back and make it better than it once was. And just here you can see is the dam wall to the pond. So you can see the block work there. It needs some repairing over this side that I'm going to do once I finish the concrete bowl, just to strengthen that dam wall, because in the flood some of the blocks got taken down. In fact, there's a block right there that obviously got moved with the weight of the water, but you can see the size of this pipe just here that runs under this dam wall, and then at the moment the water is being diverted down this pipe directly to the lake. The reason I fell in love with this property is because I've seen a lot of properties in Portugal, visited a lot of people's properties, and this place, it's unbelievable. It blows my mind, the infrastructure, the fact of where we are right now on the side of a mountain, a long way from the house. Just getting block work and these pipes up here would have been a massive task in itself. To try and explain this in the most simple way, the pond is above there, as I just mentioned. This is the dam wall. We've got the huge diameter pipe there. The water's going to flow from the pond out of there down this rock valley, which is where I'm going to lay new pipe. So I'm going to lay new pipe just here, 40mm pipe, so fairly big, so it can take the water flow needed. I'm going to dam it over, and they're by 13 meters, and I need 2 pipes, so 2 pipes by 13 meters of rigid pipe. That's nearly 700 euros just in pipe, which is a little bit horrific, but it's got to be done. And pipe, as I said, it's rigid, it needs to go in a straight line all the way along here. So my job with the excavator first is to dig a big trench, a valley, that the pipe can come all the way essentially to where the excavator is over there and flow the water directly into the concrete bowl. It's taken me a while to understand how everything works, and trying to explain it to you guys is really, really complicated, but I hope you're following along. So all of the ants have migrated, probably gone to find some more dead wood, but this, where I cut it back to, is actually really nice and healthy. And to try and give you guys an idea of how steep this bank actually was to get in, I'm gonna walk down it now. Well, I'm gonna slide down it. And right now, I'm gonna do some more exploring because I found water. Definitely gonna be needing this. So the pathway that I'm walking down right now, I have not made this, and it's like a perfect trail up a really steep bank, which leads me to believe it's probably the wild boar, because I can actually see the wild boar footprints in all of the mud that has been created from this new spring that I found. So I can actually hear the water trickling over the stones, and you can see here the water reflecting from the sun, and it's crystal clear. That water is beautiful, so that is definitely coming from a spring somewhere. And if we follow it up, you'll be able to see just here it's actually flowing. So don't know if you can see that, the water moving, it's actually flowing really nicely. So this could probably be used for another pond further down the property, which is exciting. I've got my wellies on. This is where the pigs have been hanging out. It's starting to get really dark, but let me get in here and see if I can show you where the water's coming from. Just over there in between them rocks. So I've got a spade with me. I'm going to start digging it out and see what I can find. But look at all the hoof prints in this mud. I'm glad I got my wellies on. This is the stickiest, squelchiest stuff. This is the kind of stuff that you would have found in my pants if driving the excavator down that big hill went wrong. That is sweaty work. Just been digging now for about 15 minutes. Woo. Trying to see where it comes from, and I think I've found the stone that the water is trickling from, which is cool, and I've just freed it all up. This has really piqued my interest because this means that if I dam this area and pipe it, I can send another source of water to the bottom of our property, and like I say, get another pond going. You cannot have enough water retention methods. It's so important. And to see the flow of water that I'm seeing right now in the middle of August is quite spectacular. The flow is clearly not as strong or nowhere near as strong as our main spring, but that is a really decent flow. Very usable for something in the future. So I am back on the work site. The sun is getting higher, so I need to get on with work. I usually work between about 7 and 12 and then have some lunch, probably a long lunch, probably 2 hours, and then come back after lunch and continue into the evening when it gets a bit cooler again. But yeah, we're going to make quick progress with the digger. Super excited. I need to head to the city, buy some grease for this, and also order the piping. So excited. It's a mammoth task, but I'm excited to bring you guys along. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.